I got to back up for one thing. When I was telling what Elaine told about her taking on Goliath, that big Bubba, what I skipped, I don't think she skipped, but I skipped in the telling of it, was the first thing she did was she looked straight at him and said, "You probably squat to pee." And that made his buddies all laugh, and that's when she grabbed the the cue stick and did the damage. Anyway, that's past. She reappeared the last I said she'd marched upstairs. Well, she wasn't done for the evening. Before very long at all. Well, Violet and Lance, they sat there. She didn't know what to say, and they didn't have long to be silent because she came down pretty soon. But she was dressed for bed. She had fluffy slippers on, and her pajamas and bathrobe, and she was ready to put it behind her. And she sat on the couch beside her Gma and kind of curled up and looked a little bit like a little girl again. Sorry, got a cold. Well, anyway, she said, "Were you going to watch a movie?" And they said, "Yeah, we were." "Well, let's do it," she said. A Shakespearean movie. And she said, "Fine. I've never seen one of them." And the one that was coming on, remember there was a series going to be going on for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, I think, of movies based on Shakespearean plays. And the one for this night was Much Ado About Nothing. So they watched it. Now, they had to pause now and then to talk. They were recording it, and they could do that. And they had to pause to collect their thoughts a little bit to figure out what's going on here, because, the language, Elizabethan language. But Mandy, or Elaine, she understood it all. She explained to him. She understood what was going on. She had, that's part of her gift. Maybe the fact that she'd been reading Tennyson's Idylls of the King put her in that mood, and she'd read Chaucer. I think I told you that. So she would stop and explain to them what was going on. Now they took a few breaks, had some ale, homebrewed ale, but by the time they got to the end, they loved it. They just loved it, and Elaine said, that was all about a big lie. There wasn't much ado about nothing. It was much ado about something big, a really big lie, and that Don John and his buddy, it was a conspiracy. Don John and Conrad and Baraccio, they were in on it, and they told a big lie, and it caused so much hurt and so much damage. That's what a big lie can do. But Claudio, the dummy, and the prince, the dummy, they believed it. That lie about Hero's virginity and innocence. And so I hold them to fault too, because they believed the big lie. She's kind of lecturing on what she'd seen, but that's the way you get to know Elaine. That's the way she was. And she said, but there was another lie there too, and a conspiracy. I'm really sorry. The good guys did a lie too. Benedict hadn't really done that stuff about Beatrice, and Beatrice hadn't done that stuff. That was a falsehood. But there was a difference. Its purpose was for good. I don't justify them, but it was a lie. They knew that those two loved each other, and it took that lie to get them. Whereas the others, that big lie was done out of hatred and greed and jealousy and wanting power. And so, but anyway, she said, but the language wasn't the language. I love that language. In the chapel scene, she thought about asking, could you play that again? And of course she could, and later on they did, but she said, I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest. Lance, Can you imagine hearing somebody that you really loved say that to you? And Lance had to admit, yeah, that would really be something. Well, the evening wound down. They in a way you could say there's a words to a song that Violet knew. I think she might have mentioned it too. Or pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. That's what Elaine was doing. She was real disappointed because she thought the idea of the moot point was a great idea and she wanted to help, but she'd offer to pay for the cue stick she broke, and but she was already getting past it.